Why are you even here? You don't belong in a fancy French restaurant. The loud voice of Mary, the only daughter of my boss, Charlie Thompson, echoed through the restaurant. My daughter Lisa looked down, disheartened. My wife, seeing this, put her arm around Lisa and glared at Mary. I couldn't understand why we had to be spoken to like that. It was heartbreaking to see Lisa so upset. While filled with anger, we, as a family, started to leave the restaurant. Then, laughing, Charlie said, like your low-educated child could ever be on the same level as Mary and get into the same prestigious high school. His wife and Mary both started laughing behind him. My wife and I hurriedly left the restaurant with Lisa. Charlie's condescending attitude was nothing new, but I could barely contain my anger. However, the Thompson family was unaware of the chaos that was about to unfold. My name is John. I'm 45 years old, and currently, I live with my wife and our beloved daughter Lisa. My wife and I were high school classmates, and we got married when we were 24, but it took a long time for us to be blessed with a child. The child born to my wife and me is our beloved daughter, Lisa. Lisa was a blessing, a truly adorable baby. I realized this is what they mean by so cute it hurts at that moment. I've always felt that caring for my wife and daughter was more important than career advancement. So, when Lisa was born, I took time off to help raise her. Whenever Lisa was sick, I'd leave work to be with her, and I always made sure to attend her school events, even if it meant taking time off work. As a result, even at 45, I'm still not promoted, but it's allowed me to witness every step of Lisa's growth up close. I have no regrets, and my wife has always supported me in this. But not everyone has been supportive. Hey! This document is wrong. Always taking time off, you low-educated fool. I'm highly educated, so you better work harder than me. Charlie, the head of sales and my boss, always treated me harshly. He is the same age as me, an elite employee who graduated from a prestigious national university. On the other hand, I joined this company right after high school. This spring, I finally began working at the main office, a dream come true. Honestly, I never thought I'd get a chance to work at the headquarters with just a high school diploma. So, when my transfer was confirmed, I was truly overjoyed. However, the headquarters is filled with elites with dazzling credentials from famous universities. Charlie, who graduated from a well-known university and is recognized for his excellent work, is a prominent figure among them. From the day I transferred, Charlie has been especially harsh on me. Charlie often looks down on me, calling me low-educated every chance he gets. I've tried to let his words slide off me. If I took everything he said seriously, it would destroy my spirit. But his treatment of me has gotten worse every day. John! Where's my coffee? I'll get it right now. Low-educated people sure are slow at their work. Charlie gestured dismissively at me. I had become completely subservient to Charlie. The environment at the headquarters was far from what I had imagined, and I gradually became exhausted. Here, Dad, drink this. When I got home, Lisa handed me an energy drink. While gently massaging my shoulders, she said, "Your shoulders are so tense. Don't push yourself too hard." What a kind child she is. Lisa is truly the light of my life. As I was beaming with pride, my wife, Sarah, entered the room. "I need to talk to you." Sarah looked at me with a serious expression. I sat down on the sofa in the living room. Today, Ms. Norris, Lisa's teacher, suggested that we should consider enrolling Lisa in a prestigious private high school. She told me this while pouring me some warm tea. The famous private high school in our area is renowned among the top middle school students in the state. The teachers are excellent, and the school has a good reputation. It's a school that everyone dreams of attending. Hearing Sarah's words, I was convinced. After all, Lisa has always loved studying, and ever since she was little, she would study on her own whenever she had time. Lisa has always been a top student and has been praised by Ms. Norris as well. So, it was only natural for her to try for this famous private high school. I agreed that Lisa should apply to the private high school. However, the most important thing was Lisa's own wishes. "Do you want to apply to the private high school Ms. Norris recommended?" Lisa thought for a moment and immediately replied, "Yes. Ms. Norris said I could study a lot of Spanish there. And I really want to go and learn more Spanish. Alright then, let's go for it and apply to that prestigious private high school." I made the decision after hearing Lisa's thoughts. Lisa and Sarah looked happy. Then Lisa came and sat next to me. But I'm not good at math, so I want to go to a tutoring center to overcome that, Lisa said apologetically. Of course, I responded, you can go to the tutoring center, no problem. I wanted to do everything I could for Lisa. Lisa's eyes lit up. Thanks, Dad. I'll do my best. With that, Lisa immediately started studying in her room. Watching her, I felt even more determined to work harder at my job. And so, Lisa began attending the tutoring center the following week. I made a good friend at the tutoring center. She also wants to go to the same private high school. Lisa shared this excitedly with me. I watched her with a smile. Despite studying late every day, Lisa seemed genuinely happy. She never complained and kept at her studies. She really loves studying. Watching Lisa, I felt the need to push myself harder as well. But at work, did you create this document, John? No, it wasn't me. There's no one else who could produce such a senseless document but you. Being accused of things I had no memory of was a daily occurrence. No matter what I said, Charlie probably wouldn't listen to me. I'm sorry. That was all I could do, apologize. Today was no different. Charlie was ordering me around as usual. Enduring this day after day was truly painful. Then, Charlie approached me. I heard you had good sales performance at the branch office. If that's the case, try selling here. He threw a document at me. I picked up the document. Then, with a smirk, Charlie said, if you can secure a contract with this company, I'll reconsider my opinion of you. Though, I doubt you'll manage it. Securing this contract might stop Charlie from treating me so dismissively. A glimmer of hope appeared for me. I returned to my desk. As I was looking over the document Charlie had given me, Kevin, a younger colleague at the next desk, spoke to me. Kevin was younger than me by a whole decade. He wasn't famous but had graduated from college and was one of the competent employees. Unlike Charlie, Kevin didn't look down on me, he was a kind person. Is that Parker Trading? Kevin furrowed his brows. Yes, why? Do you know them? When I asked, Kevin lowered his voice. Parker Trading is famous for its difficult president. That's why nobody wants to approach them for sales. Why did you take it on? So that's why. Everyone avoided them, and that's why Charlie specifically assigned this company to me. I understood now. It might be tough, but I'll give it a shot, I said and immediately started my research. Indeed, this company is currently in need of this product. In that case, I strategized to make sure the contract would be successful. And I went on to prepare the documents. Kevin, from the next desk, asked, is there anything I can help you with? Thanks, but I'm good. As I continued working, Charlie came over. And then, he snorted again, saying, are the sales preparations moving forward? Well, it's a hopeless case for you, and went back to his desk. I ignored him and kept on with my work. Finally, the materials were ready, and I was prepared to go to Parker Trading for sales. I'm off to make a sales visit to Parker Trading. I left the office with the documents in hand. Charlie looked at me coldly. I was a bit nervous since this was my first sales visit since transferring to the headquarters. Excuse me. I arrived at Parker Trading and entered the reception room. There sat a formidable-looking man. He appeared to be about my age but carried an air of authority. I timidly looked at the man's face. He was also looking at me. I'm Martin, the president. Pleased to meet you. Mr. Martin introduced himself before I did. So this was the difficult president. While thinking about this, I introduced myself as well. Nice to meet you. My name is John. Thank you for taking the time to meet with me today. Mr. Martin listened quietly and didn't initiate any conversation himself. There, I brought up a certain topic with Mr. Martin. Then, Mr. Martin's expression softened, and a certain fact came to light. Thanks to this, the sales process went smoothly, and I was able to secure a contract with Parker Trading. I couldn't believe that I was able to secure a contract so smoothly on my first attempt. I couldn't hide my surprise. Wow, I was surprised to find out you're the father of my daughter's friend. Thanks to your daughter Lisa, my daughter has become motivated to study. Which is a big help. Thanks to Lisa? That's right. Ever since she met Lisa, she's been eager to go to the tutoring center. Could you ask Lisa to come and visit our house? Yes, of course. I look forward to working with you in the future too. I firmly shook hands with Mr. Martin. Indeed, Mr. Martin was the father of the new friend Lisa had made at the tutoring center. When I was researching, all I knew was that Mr. Martin had a daughter about the same age as me and that he was quite a doting parent. That's why I brought up children to ease the atmosphere. It turned out that Mr. Martin's daughter attended the same tutoring center as Lisa. Thanks to Lisa, the contract with Parker Trading was a success. I was amazed by how things turned out. I could not thank Lisa enough. I left Parker Trading's headquarters enthusiastically and headed back to my company. As soon as I arrived, Kevin approached me eagerly. How did it go with Parker Trading? I responded with a smile, I got the contract. Kevin, surprised, exclaimed loudly. What? Really? Parker Trading signed the contract. I was startled by Kevin's loud voice. Charlie, who was sitting at the manager's desk, heard Kevin and came over to my desk. What kind of tricks did you use? Well, Parker Trading is known to be unpredictable, so maybe Mr. Martin was just in a good mood today. Don't get cocky just because you succeeded once. Remember, you are still just a high school grad. Charlie snatched the contract from me and went back to his desk. Unbelievable. He said he would reconsider his opinion of me if I secured a contract, but instead, he looked down on me even more. I started to think he just disliked me because I was less educated. But it doesn't matter anymore. I should just keep doing what I can do. Today, I'll buy a cake as a thank you for Lisa. Lisa loves cake, she will be delighted. I thought about this as I continued with the errands Charlie had assigned me. Then Charlie threw another document at me. Next, go and sell to this company. I was angry at Charlie's arrogant attitude, but I decided to check the document. And when I asked Kevin, do you know this company? He made a troubled face. This company is like Parker Trading, the president is famously stubborn. No one has ever succeeded in selling to them before. Is this your next target? I was speechless at Kevin's words. Charlie was intentionally assigning me to companies where sales were difficult. It was Charlie's way of harassing me. I was angry, but at the same time, I felt a surge of determination. I'll show him what I can do. I started researching the assigned company. And to prepare for tomorrow's sales, I decided to head home early today. On the way back, I stopped at Lisa's favorite bakery and bought a strawberry cake. As I imagined Lisa's happy face, I made my way home. However, upon arriving, I was confronted with a scene I had not anticipated. Lisa was crying in her mother Sarah's arms. Lisa had never been one to cry much, even when something was wrong. That's why I was even more worried. Lisa, what's wrong? When I asked, Lisa just kept crying and didn't respond. Sarah looked at me. She's been crying since she got back from the tutoring center. She won't tell me why. I gently spoke to Lisa. Your mom and I are worried about you. We can't understand if you don't tell us what's wrong. Please, talk to us. Then, Lisa looked up and began to slowly speak. There's this girl at the tutoring center, her name is Mary, she laughs at me, saying I'm the child of a low-educated father. She says that no matter how hard a child of a low-educated parent tries, they can't pass the entrance exam for the prestigious private high schools. I was stunned. A child saying things like Charlie? Only people at work knew I was low-educated. Could it be? I had a sinking feeling. Is this girl's last name Thompson? Although I doubted it, I had to ask. Lisa looked at me, surprised. How do you know? My face went pale. I knew Charlie had a daughter, but to think she was at the same tutoring center as Lisa. It might be my boss's daughter. At work, there's a boss who looks down on me, calling me low-educated. Lisa looked stunned by my words. Dad, are you low-educated? Lisa looked directly at me. What should I explain to her? While I was lost for words, Sarah, who had been quietly observing, spoke up. Your dad didn't go to college. Unfortunately, there are people who look down on those who aren't college graduates. But I don't think that way. Even though your dad only graduated high school, he has a steady job and manages his work well, right? Sarah said this with conviction. I may have only graduated high school, but I don't regret it. And today, thanks to you, we secured a contract. Isn't that great? Lisa seemed puzzled. I explained today's events to Lisa and Sarah. Lisa looked pleased. So Mr. Martin from Parker Trading is Samantha's dad. Samantha is such a good girl. When Mary was being mean to me, Samantha stood up for me. Mr. Martin's child was a good kid like her father. Knowing that there is someone protecting Lisa, I felt a bit relieved. Dad, I love how kind you are. No matter what Mary says, I won't be beaten, and you shouldn't be beaten by her dad either, she said, hugging me tightly. I stroked Lisa's head. I won't let Charlie beat me. Although I'm just a high school graduate, I felt far superior to Charlie, who judges people based on their education. I vowed to work hard so Charlie would have nothing to criticize. Daddy will never lose, so you keep up your efforts too, Lisa. If it gets tough, talk to Mom or me. Lisa nodded at my words. Her expression brightened. I brought out the cake I had bought. As expected, Lisa was thrilled. And we spent a joyful time together as a family. The next day, I went to work as usual. While I was preparing to visit the next company Charlie had assigned me, he came to my desk and raised his voice. Your daughter is applying to a prestigious private high school, huh? There's no way a low-educated person's daughter like yours could get in. Without thinking, I replied, you won't know unless you try. Charlie glared at me. What are you talking about, with your low education? My daughter is smart, unlike yours. I had always tried to ignore Charlie's words. I could endure being looked down upon, but I couldn't tolerate insults directed at Lisa. Frustrated, I left the scene. I had moved to the main office and this was my second sales destination. I wondered if the sales angels would smile upon me here too. Despite being nervous, I gave it my all. And something unexpected happened again. I managed to secure another contract. It turned out that Mr. Richardson of this company knew Mr. Martin of Parker Trading, who had spoken highly of me. Because of this, Mr. Richardson was very friendly, and the sales process went smoothly. I silently thanked Mr. Martin in my heart. When I returned to the office, I immediately reported the successful sale to Kevin. Kevin was so surprised he could hardly believe it. John, that's incredible. You really have a talent for sales. He looked at me intently as he spoke. Flattered by his praise, I couldn't help but feel a bit smug. That's when Charlie approached. Just because you succeeded in your second sales appointment, don't look so pleased with yourself. You're just doing what's expected of you. Instead of congratulating me, Charlie scolded me after hearing about my successful sale. Being a salesperson, succeeding in sales is normal. However, I believe it is wrong to look down on someone for having a lower education level. Following this, Charlie continuously assigned me to companies that other salespeople avoided. Each time, I managed to make the sale. Even Charlie couldn't hide his surprise. Well, it must be a fluke. Though he said this, my sales records were undeniably improving. One day, Mr. Anderson, the president of our company, happened to visit the sales department. Our eyes met by chance. Are you John? Your recent sales figures are excellent. Keep up the good work. Yes. I will do my best. Hearing Mr. Anderson's words, I felt that all my efforts had truly paid off. Then Mr. Anderson placed a hand on Charlie's shoulder. Your training must be very effective. Keep it up. Charlie forced a smile and saw Mr. Anderson off. Then he looked at me and clicked his tongue. I guess he's upset because someone like me, who he looked down on for being less educated, was praised by Mr. Anderson. While Charlie's attitude irritated me, I was too busy to be swayed by such emotions. I started preparing to leave on time today for tomorrow's important event. Tomorrow was finally Lisa's entrance exam for the high school. Of course, I had taken the day off. Because I wanted to be there to support her during this crucial time. I'm nervous. When I got home, Lisa was preparing for tomorrow. I was confident that Lisa would definitely pass the entrance exam to the prestigious private high school. She had been studying daily and consistently received top scores on her mock exams. Lisa, you can do it. Let's give it our all tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do my best. Thanks, Dad. Lisa responded loudly. On the fateful day of the private high school entrance exam, I drove Lisa to the venue. As we arrived, she confidently stepped out of the car. I returned home and waited with Sarah for the exam to end. Hopefully, it will end with a good result for Lisa. I prayed continuously. As I moved restlessly, Sarah said, "There's no point in you being restless," but the 5 hours during the exam felt very long to me. After 5 hours, Sarah and I went to pick up Lisa at the venue. Lisa came running towards us from the other side. Her expression was very bright. A lot of what I studied was on the test. I even did well on the math. Lisa happily reported to us. It's a relief. The exam is over, why don't we go to our usual French restaurant today? At my suggestion, Lisa jumped with joy. Our family has a tradition of going to this upscale French restaurant for celebrations. The prices aren't cheap as it's a high-end restaurant, but it's a suitable place for celebrations, so we use it often. Both Lisa and Sarah love this restaurant. We're going to that restaurant? I'm so happy. What should we try today? We arrived at the restaurant. Excitedly, our family opened the door to the restaurant. Due to the dinner hour, the place was bustling. We were led by a waiter to a table by the window. Shall we try the course menu for a change today? At my suggestion, both Lisa and Sarah's eyes lit up. We ordered the course meals, and dish after dish arrived. Delicious. Lisa ate with pleasure. But then, I noticed Lisa's gaze shift behind me. And she suddenly looked downwards. Puzzled, I asked, "Lisa? What's wrong?" Then, from behind, I heard a voice I least wanted to hear at that moment. "Hey, what is a low-educated person like you doing here?" Charlie shouted at our family. Behind him were his wife and Mary. Mary followed suit, glaring at Lisa with a harsh tone. "Why are you here? You're totally out of place in a fancy French restaurant like this." Our pleasant dinner was ruined by the Thompson family. Lisa looked down, appearing saddened. Sarah hugged Lisa and signaled to me. Though we were in the middle of our meal, I realized we couldn't stay in the restaurant any longer. As we were getting up to leave, Charlie added insult to injury, loudly proclaiming, "As if a low-educated person's child could ever be on the same level as Mary and pass the prestigious high school entrance exam." Charlie's wife and Mary laughed behind him. It was one of the most humiliating moments of my life. Sarah glared at the Thompson family. We paid for our meals and quickly left the restaurant. In the car on the way home, Sarah expressed her anger. "It's outrageous how they look down on people like that." Sarah said this and hugged Lisa, who was sitting next to her. Lisa had completely lost her energy. "I'm sorry, Lisa, for making you go through such hard times because of me." I apologized to Lisa from the bottom of my heart. I felt overwhelmed with guilt thinking that if I had graduated from college, neither Lisa nor Sarah would have had to go through this. Then Lisa looked up and said in a strong tone, "It's not your fault, Dad. It's those people who look down on others." Sarah also nodded in agreement. I felt saved by Lisa's words. A month had passed since then. I continued my unchanging daily life. One day, as usual, I went to work and noticed it was unusually noisy. Charlie was in a very good mood, which was different from his usual serious self. "John, keep up the good work in sales today." Charlie was being nice. I felt something was off. Being nice is good, but it felt strange. I wondered what had happened to Charlie. As I was pondering this, Kevin came over to me. "It seems there might be a new branch in the UK, and everyone is gossiping that Charlie might become the branch manager," Kevin said. "That's why Charlie has been in such a good mood since this morning." Charlie, a branch manager. So that's what it was. If Charlie became the branch manager, it would be a big promotion for him. That explained why Charlie was in a good mood. I was convinced. If I become the branch manager in the UK, I'll invite everyone over there. Charlie was talking loudly and happily. If Charlie left this sales department, it would probably become much more peaceful. That's what I was thinking. Then, a few days later, a decisive day came for Lisa. Today was the acceptance announcement day at the prestigious private high school. In place of Sarah, who had to work, I drove Lisa to the private high school where the acceptance announcement would be made. Lisa looked confident. We arrived at the private high school. Then, Lisa started running. Ahead of where Lisa was running, there were Mr. Martin of Parker Trading and his daughter, Samantha. I greeted Mr. Martin. The acceptance announcement is finally here, isn't it? Yes, indeed. Lisa and Samantha talked cheerfully as they walked toward the place where the list of accepted students was posted. Then, the Thompson family appeared. My daughter will definitely pass, but your daughter will probably fail. Charlie is saying terrible things again. Mr. Martin, standing next to me, looked puzzled at Charlie. However, I told Mr. Martin to ignore Charlie. Then, together with Lisa, I looked at the acceptance list. And there it was. Lisa's exam number was clearly listed. She had passed. And when I glanced next to me at Mr. Martin and Samantha, both of them were also looking happy. Samantha had passed as well. Lisa had an expression as if to say, of course, she had passed. And then I heard Charlie's voice again. No, this can't be true. Why isn't Mary's name on the list? Mary was crying and frustrated. It seemed that she had not passed. Then Charlie looked at Lisa and Samantha, glared, and came towards us. His expression was very intimidating, and the girls were scared. Did you two pass? Both quietly nodded in response to Charlie's question. Charlie shouted loudly. Your daughter must have taken my daughter's spot. My daughter is smarter, why did this happen? Charlie was talking nonsense. Mr. Martin, who was watching nearby, couldn't hold back anymore and spoke up. You are really rude. It's obvious that Lisa is smarter than your daughter. Lisa has even been accepted to a famous private high school abroad. What? Charlie looked at me, doubtfully. Mr. Martin was telling the truth. In fact, 2 months before applying to the prestigious private high school, Lisa had also taken exams for a famous private high school abroad. One night, Lisa had come to me for advice. I want to run a company in the future, one where superiors do not look down on their subordinates. That's why I want to study business management in a specialized school in the UK. Hearing Lisa's determined words, I decided to support her in attending the private high school in the UK. Lisa had worked hard for this. And last week, we received the acceptance letter from the famous private high school in the UK. When I explained the situation, the Thompson family left without saying anything. Mr. Martin looked at Lisa and said gently, "Don't worry about such rude remarks, just follow your own path." I thanked Mr. Martin. It seemed Lisa had made up her mind. Even though I passed here, I'm going to go to the private high school in the UK. I'll study business management and one day become a CEO. Samantha, who had been listening to Lisa's words, looked sad that they wouldn't be attending the same high school but said, "Lisa, I'll be rooting for you." Lisa smiled kindly. The day after the acceptance announcement, as I usually did, I went to work and Mr. Anderson was waiting at my desk. Greeting Mr. Anderson, he said something unexpected. "I want you to be the manager of the new branch we are establishing in the UK." I was astonished. Charlie, not me, as the branch manager. Charlie approached my desk as he heard Mr. Anderson's voice. "Mr. Anderson. John has only been transferred to the headquarters for less than a year. He can't possibly be a branch manager." Charlie looked at me in disbelief. However, Mr. Anderson continued. "John has been successfully signing contracts with companies that our sales department couldn't secure before, increasing our company's profits significantly. I'm confident he'll do great in the UK as well." But Charlie was not convinced. "I could do much better." Mr. Anderson frowned at Charlie's words. "I've heard from the staff that your attitude towards subordinates is terrible. I can't entrust someone like that with our UK branch." Charlie quieted down at Mr. Anderson's words. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I haven't told Mr. Anderson that Charlie is looking down on me, then who did? I suddenly looked at Kevin. Kevin was giving me a peace sign. Kevin had spoken to Mr. Anderson for me. I smiled at Kevin. "John, what do you say?" Want to give it a try? I had made my decision. I want to enjoy sales work freely. I'll give it a try. Hearing my words, Mr. Anderson happily patted my shoulder. I'm counting on you. Then he left the sales department. Charlie looked at me with frustration, but he no longer said anything. And then, my family and I took off for England. Coincidentally, the famous private high school Lisa attended was near the branch where I would be working. I took a new step forward with my beloved family. Meanwhile, I heard from Kevin that Charlie had become much quieter since I became the branch manager. And Mary started attending a public high school. I sincerely hope that from now on, no one will look down on others just because they have a lower level of education. Thinking about the harsh treatment I received from Charlie makes me angry, but in a way, I owe my current self to him. I plan to continue working hard while cherishing my family.